After thoroughly trashing the royals for nearly 4 years now, reportedly, Meghan and Harry have a new strategy, reconciliation. It's going to be their Christmas gift to King Charles. But is it really a gift when the recipient doesn't want it? Hello and a very warm welcome to Kate Middleton and The Queen channel. Well, it looks like somebody is manifesting once again. Looks to me like the Montecito malcontents do not know how to take a hint. After making a career out of trashing the royal family and then realizing that career wasn't all that lucrative, now they're trying to get back in the good graces of the royal family, but the royal family is having none of it. So instead of just accepting that maybe they should lay low and try to change their behavior for a little while and then ask for forgiveness, they're just manifesting again. They're putting out these articles claiming that reconciliation is on the horizon, but I don't believe a word of this nonsense. Just today, I came across this article in page 6 with the headline, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle's Christmas gift to Charles after royal races storm, reconciliation. What kind of gift is that going to be? And another big problem, who do they think they are claiming that they're ready to reconcile? Last time I checked, they're the ones who need to be apologizing. The royal family didn't do anything wrong. It's also pretty clear to anybody who has been paying even a little bit of attention. The reason why Harry and Meghan want to get back in good with the royal family is because they're running out of options. Meghan's not getting any work as a producer or podcaster or actress or whatever it is that she's trying to be. Harry's not getting any work as, well, I don't even know what he's trying to be. The two of them really believe that they were going to be able to do absolutely nothing, just sit on their butts all day long and be paid millions for it. Well, no. I mean, they signed those lucrative contracts, and then they discovered too late that they were actually expected to produce something. I mean, again, what is wrong with them? Why do they believe they are so far above everybody they don't even have to work for their money? Well, it looks like right now they are quickly running out of money thanks to Meghan's spending habits, and that's exactly why they're trying to get back in with the royal family. They're trying to sidle in so they can record some conversations and sell some more dirt to the highest bidder. And they're calling it reconciliation. Yeah, right. One well-placed source told page 6, Harry and Meghan's new strategy is reconciliation. Well, okay, as opposed to their old strategy of throwing the family under the bus, calling them racist, claiming that they were cruel and cold towards Meghan and just didn't support Harry his entire life. I mean, what a couple of idiots thinking that at this point in the game they can change strategies and play nice. Nobody's going to fall for this. At this point, the relationship between Harry and the rest of the family has hit rock bottom. Reportedly, he hasn't even spoken to William in over a year. Now, supposedly, Harry and Meghan and the invisible children called King Charles on his birthday, but I don't know, I'm suspicious about that whole story. And even if they did really make the call, well, what tacky hypocrites for making sure the call went public. King Charles has said time and time again that he wants family matters to be private, and he wants the people to focus on the good work that the royal family is doing. Harry and Meghan, though, are so desperate to get their names in the headlines that they will break his trust like that. So why should he trust them again? In my opinion, it says a lot that King Charles didn't even mention Harry and Meghan in his Christmas speech this year. He was recording it at the Chapel of St. George at Windsor Castle, near where his mother was laid to rest. And, usually he will throw them a bone. He'll at least say something about them. For example, in his first speech as king, King Charles mentioned Meghan and Harry and wished them a lovely life overseas. But this go around, no, not even a single mention. And I think that tells us all we need to know about the relationship between Charles and his son, and daughter-in-law for that matter. He wants nothing to do with them. He has to protect the other family members. People have called Charles weak. People have said that he's not doing enough to punish Harry and Meghan. But honestly, I think he's doing a fine job. Just think about it. If Charles were to be overly punitive, then Harry and Meghan would cry victim, and they probably would get some sympathy from some people out there. But the way he's playing this is genius. He's just blanking them. He's ignoring them completely, which is more upsetting to them than being punished. Another thing is, what exactly do Meghan and Harry mean by reconciliation? Do they mean groveling? Do they mean getting down on their hands and knees and begging for forgiveness? No. Well, then I highly doubt the royal family is going to be interested in this reconciliation they speak of. Last time I checked, the royal family has nothing to apologize for. Every horrible thing Harry and Meghan have claimed the royal family did to them was either completely made up or grossly exaggerated. And it sounds like this time Meghan might be the driving force behind this reconciliation plan. I mean, how delusional is she? So according to a source, Meghan is wanting to reconcile with the royal family because she's hoping it could help repair the strains on her marriage with Prince Harry. Well, yeah, I'm sure their marriage is under a lot of strain. I mean, when you got a couple of people like them who refuse to take responsibility for their role in anything, it's not going to be a good outcome when they start to fail. I'm sure they're turning on each other. As their house of cards is now collapsing, they're not going to actually look within and accept that maybe part of this was their fault. Instead, they're going to turn on each other. I do think it's funny, though, how the reports are not even claiming there is any other reason for reconciliation than money. According to The Mirror, Meghan Markle is hoping for a part-time reunion with the royal family amid financial woes. I mean, well, at least they're being honest about that part. Clearly, it's because they're running out of money. There's no other reason they're trying to get back in. There are some other articles, of course, claiming that Harry wants Elizabeth and Archofficial to enjoy a real royal Christmas. But if that were really the reason, well, why hasn't Harry made any effort before to go back home and have his children actually spend time with his family? It's because it's not the reason. So according to The Mirror, Meghan wants to spend about 8 months a year living in California, and the rest of the year she would love to rent an apartment at Kensington Palace. Oh my God, can you imagine? Kensington Palace? What, so she can be close to William and Catherine and creep on their children like she did before? I'm sure William and Catherine would never allow such a thing. They actually care about their children. They protect them at all costs. They're not going to let this evil witch Meghan Markle get close to them. Especially not after all the hateful stuff that was published about Catherine in Endgame. And as much as Meghan and Harry are trying to claim they had nothing to do with the book, and Scooby-Doo is claiming the same, we know it's got Meghan's claw prints all over it. There is no one who hates Catherine as much as Meghan does. So how is the king responding to all this noise? Well, okay, in the past, he has expressed a desire for the family to be reunited, but that was quite some time ago, so I'm not convinced that he still feels that way today. I think for the king, Spare was absolutely heartbreaking. The way Harry attacked the king's beloved wife Camilla was uncalled for. What proof does Harry have that Camilla sacrificed him on her personal PR altar? That's what he claimed in the book, but he has no proof of that. Camilla didn't do that to him. I mean, come on, Camilla is not that petty. Now, Harry is that petty, and that's why he assumes other people are as well. So according to this insider, a potential reunion would only come under one condition. If Meghan and Harry really want to make peace with the royal family and be forgiven, they have to promise never to speak ill of the royals ever again. Are they going to be able to keep that promise, though? I don't think so. Speaking about this condition that Meghan and Harry aren't allowed to trash the royals again, the source said that's a must. It would be an utter embarrassment if they were to be kicked out of the family for a second time. I mean, I figure, though, that's exactly what would happen. If the royals dare let them back in, all they're going to do is have some recording devices and record some more conversations, spin it and twist it to make the royals sound bad, and then sell that information to the highest bidder. That is the reason they want back in. Let's get real. This article in The Mirror insists that there is always a way back for Meghan. I don't believe it, though. Now, for Harry, sure. Harry is still the son of the king. He is still William's brother. I kind of think William's done with him, but I think the king, under the right circumstances, could forgive Harry and move on. Would Harry ever be allowed to be a working member of the family again? Well, I hope not. But I'm sure they would allow him to come to family events, and probably they would give him some quiet support as well. I think the royal family would need to be very careful not to give him any money that came from taxpayer dollars, because the taxpayers are not going to agree with that. But I think they could dip into their private purse, and they could give him a little something to help him get by. But as for Meghan, absolutely not. Honestly, folks, I believe all the reports that claim the late Queen knew exactly what was up with Meghan Markle. I believe that she called her evil. And for somebody like the Queen, that was a very strong statement. And it has to be true. The Queen was not somebody who judged people unnecessarily. She was not a hateful person. In fact, she was incredibly warm and loving, according to all reports. So you know it was not some small incident that led the Queen to call her evil. William, though, by all accounts, is not nearly as forgiving as his father. And it makes sense when you think about it. Harry and William suffered the same tragic loss of their mother when they were just boys. William managed to move on. Harry did not. In spite of what Harry claims, he and William were offered most of the same opportunities. Sure, William was going to be king someday, so of course he received special training for that. But still, as far as opportunities and privilege go, Harry had plenty. William and Harry, after their mother passed away, were incredibly close. They had such a wonderful bond. They were there for each other. They supported each other. And that is what their mother would have wanted. But Harry grew up, and he could stand the fact that William was happy married to Catherine, that William had beautiful children of his own. Harry felt like William was abandoning him. And that's why Harry was such easy prey for Meghan. See, Meghan saw what was going on there, I think. I mean, she's not very smart, but she is cunning. She saw that Harry wanted to one-up his brother in the marriage stakes. And so she came along and she advertised herself as this glamorous Hollywood actress. Harry said she was so hot. He thought that William was going to be jealous of this actress on his arm. Well, of course William wasn't jealous. Because why would William want this piece of Hollywood trash with all kinds of Botox and fillers when he had a beautiful, natural English rose by his side? I suspect that William was more hurt than anybody when he watched Harry turn on the family like that. I think King Charles felt some guilt because, yeah, Harry blames him for a lot. But no, William knows that he has nothing to blame himself for. He was there to support Harry his entire life, and he didn't deserve the acts of betrayal. According to the royal expert Duncan Larcombe, who spoke with New Magazine, I think the Sussexes are aware the Prince and Princess of Wales are still furious, and Kate's name coming out in that book will have reignited William's anger. He went on to say, there's always a way back. Look at Camilla. She was the most hated person in Britain, and now she's the Queen. If that's possible, anything's possible. But as things stand at the moment, I'd say it's pretty unthinkable. He is right that at one point in time, Camilla's name was Mud. Everybody hated her so much they thought she was the reason that Charles and Diana broke up. But see, there is one very big difference between Camilla and the Sussexes. Camilla worked very hard to get people to appreciate her. And by worked, I mean she actually worked. She laid low, she kept her name out of the media, she didn't put a foot wrong for so many years. She worked so hard on behalf of the monarchy, and eventually people came to accept her. Camilla did not trash the royal family. Camilla just took a lot of abuse in the media, and she didn't say a word about it. Harry and Meghan can't do that, you see. They're too sensitive, those little snowflakes. If anybody says something bad about them, their feelings get hurt, and they gotta pitch a fit for the whole world to hear. The two of them are just so petty. I mean, let's remember how Harry got all upset in 2019 because the Queen didn't put a picture of them in her 2019 Christmas speech. Instead, she chose to highlight photos of the then Cambridges along with Charles and Camilla. Well, gee, I wonder why Harry and Meghan's photos were not included. Could it have something to do with the fact that they were not direct heirs to the throne? According to the Royals writer Christopher Anderson in his book Brothers and Wives Inside the Private Lives of William, Kate, Harry, and Meghan, Harry felt like he was being erased from the royal family after the Queen dared to not display a photo of him during that 2019 Christmas address. A palace source reported, it's always so interesting to see what photos are put on display. A lot of care and attention goes into this. A lot is about showing off continuity of the family and the bloodline. Everything is meaningful and carefully curated, down to the items in the backdrop. That is not something that should have been upsetting to Harry. I mean, it's ridiculous that he got to this point in life believing he really should get equal billing as his brother. But that's part of the problem. That's part of the reason that he and Meghan left. They couldn't accept the fact that William and Catherine were always going to be above them in the hierarchy. You know, it reminds me of what my sister does with her grandkids. She spoils them rotten. Anytime one kid has a birthday, she gets a bunch of presents for the other one, too. And I have told her time and time again, you gotta make it clear early on in life that sometimes the other person is going to be the star, and you shouldn't try to steal their thunder all the time. But she tells me she doesn't want the other one to feel left out, so she's going to shower them with gifts as well. But I think that's part of why Harry has ended up like this. Instead of letting Harry know when he was a young boy that he and William were born into different roles, they just allowed him to think that he was always going to be on the same level as Willie. He always wanted what William had. And look at him now. They didn't do him any favors convincing him that he really was on the same level as William. Well, my prediction is these stories about reconciliation are not going to go away for quite some time. First, it's going to be Christmas reconciliation, and then it's going to be, New Year's reconciliation. And then when that date comes and goes with no reconciliation, they're just going to push it on to Easter, I guess. Honestly, I suspect that this nonsense might continue until Harry and Meghan are officially done, and that day couldn't come sooner. And you, what do you think about this idea of reconciliation, a new strategy? Please let me know your opinion below in the comments section. And please don't forget to report the King Charles channel for stealing my content. I hope we can get rid of them soon. Anyway, if you enjoyed our video, please don't hesitate to like and share it with anybody else who would appreciate it too. If you haven't already, click that subscribe button so that you don't miss a single update from Kate Middleton and the Queen. Thank you so much for watching. You have a wonderful day, and I'll be back to see you in the next videos.